Hello. So, last time I went ahead and built this thing, and well, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think, genuinely looks a lot more like an actual generated structure, and like something, if you look at the map, it actually, from above, yeah, it looks quite a bit like an actual structure. It is, I'll admit, quite flat still. There's not really much more to it besides from the shape. So, well, it may be kind of pleasing to the eye. I mean, it's just a bit of maths, I suppose. So, for this time round, I wanted to return back to the original idea of kind of building kind of town settlements or whatever. Just wanted to scale things up quite a bit. So, we just... So the idea is to start off from about here. Might wanna show you. Yeah, so the idea is to build up pretty much through the channel, like around everything up here, build up a... Right, so the idea is to build up around here, kind of, yeah, just build like a riverside settlement. I think this whole area that I've picked out here is actually quite good, since I can split it off around like both sides of here. I'll just go to the map. So this whole area, like, well, mostly around here is where I'm planning on building. So it'll be considerably larger than what I've built before, and I mean, it will take me a while, but I think it shouldn't be too hard. I need to remove some of the natives. Maybe they can stay. But yeah, I think this will lend me a lot more opportunity to actually build organically. So I suppose I'll get started now. Right, so it has taken me a decent while to actually figure out a color palettes that would actually work, because I was earlier on, I was trying this, what was it? It was like spruce or whatever on the inside, and you can actually see some of the remaining colors in here. It just didn't look that good, so I've basically just gone and I've taken a very similar idea to the normal world gen and had a look at one or two images online. So right now these just kind of look like scaled up buildings to the standard villages, which I hope to kind of furnish out later, try and improve how they look. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of... Yeah, I want to expand this to look kind of like there's a civilization developing here around the waterfront with the bridge connecting little lookouts. Yeah, so the plan is for me to basically expand all the way down here, get some farms set up maybe on either side following the rivers, and just kind of slowly develop this. I'll probably start off skeletal, like with these just being pretty much empty, and then just alter them as I work on it to try and actually give it some depth. Right, so a whole lot of messing around later, and I've ended up actually combining the two builds that I was working on into this. And while everything currently still looks way too big, I mean, just look at this, it is looking a whole lot better. So right now I'm just working on the infrastructure, with stuff like bridges and the little like guard posts, I suppose, which will hopefully give shape to the overall build so that I can properly scale everything. You know, like probably redecorate everything to look better, because it just doesn't. It takes up a lot of space. So I'm probably going to have to redo some stuff, but I do like how like the bridges and little posts are coming out. So yeah, I'll just get back to doing all of this and try and slowly expand everything. Okay, so after a decently large amount of work, I have, as you can see, done quite a considerable amount. Finally, I was having a very difficult time with just the general layout. Yeah, I ended up going nowhere near as large as I originally planned, because right now I'm just... at least with this color palette, I have no idea how to properly expand it. I'm not too good at what I'm doing right now. You can tell this is like my first attempt at a cart. I might actually just remove that outright, but on the whole, this little layouting is looking quite well. I'd say if you ever plan on building anything just in Minecraft at all like this, build infrastructure. Adding the things like the boats and the walls has improved everything considerably. I've also managed to make this look quite a bit better just by moving these bits back in the windows and all that, which has given it some depth, pulling out some bits here. And yeah, it's not done yet, but just walking through this, it actually looks good. It's still empty, like I still need to fill all of these houses in. I don't think I filled any of them in at all, so that's probably what I'm going to focus on now. But on the whole, it actually looks good. Like, yeah. Like, if I had to just leave this as it is now, I wouldn't be too upset. So, with that said, I am going to actually get on to, like, properly decorating and furnishing this place, adding the details onto every little bit to try and make it look even better than it already is. I just want to say, I like this boat. I think this is one of my favorite bits of the build, even though it's just secondary. It's just a nice little barge boat. It's the first time I think that, yeah, this was the first boat I started building. I think it's my first boat that I've tried in years, and yeah, I'm happy with it. So, yeah, I suppose I'll get to decorating everything here and see how it goes. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much finished with this build. Now, I am pretty happy with how it turned out generally, but I think it's best if I just kind of walk around through here. You have your boats, you have your cargo areas, little storage room, just general little housing. It's the stuff I've done before, and while I am generally pretty happy with how it turned out, I'm gonna say this is, I think so far, like, probably the build I have had the least amount of fun with. It has been... it just feels a little empty. And while I think it looks nice, especially on like a map where you're just looking from the sky, maybe I can... Actually, looks decent enough in the night. You have your little kind of flame there. You have just lights going through here. You can see people, kind of watchtower going on. A little bookshelf. And while I think it's well made in a way, it just feels a little empty. And I think that may be down to the color palette I was using. Like, I think I just prefer the darker colors. So I tried going with the acacia. I've mixed in more darker stuff. And yeah, I mean, it looks nice, but it just feels a bit empty. But I think I'm gonna call it a day with this one here. Now, what I want to do next time will be, I've grown. I was thinking while I was building this, that would be nice to. So what I've done so far was find terrains and just find generally nice looking terrain and try to adapt it and like build around it, just creating just nice looking things, like especially with, where is it? Say the small village that I built before was a good example of this, but an even better one would be the mountainside like fortress thing I built here. This was genuinely, I think, one of my favorite builds I've done so far. It just fit in so well. I did a lot of terraforming here just to get it to work. But it turned out amazing. But, you know, like this, you can just tell it has, just walking through here. Ooh, did not notice that. Like, it has just a lot more character. Like, even if you're just to run down here, even this little empty area, like, you can see it's got purpose. You drop down here. It just feels properly made. You have your own little dedicated areas, and even if they're a bit empty, they just look better. And I have spent a good few hours. I did take a break in between making this, which is why it took so long for me to actually put this out. But like, you can tell, like, my original plan was to have this whole like region out, and I'm just not at a level where I can actually do that. And I just don't know how to make these massive builds on their own, at least not conforming to landscape like that. But what I want to do in the future will be to actually, maybe, I was thinking of trying to build my own like small little map, maybe go in Minecrafty fantasy elements, just go for, you know, so I can work things in with like the mountain bases and everything. Just make it things dramatic and atmospheric fully, not just working through the terrain. Because all of this pretty much has been shaped by the terrain, and I'd like to be able to, well, first shape the terrain to how I want it to look, and I think, I mean, it will give me a lot to learn about. So yeah, so next time, it might take me a while to get Anton out again, but I will. I only have about a week now so I can do Anton, but so it might be a while. But yeah, anyway, next time I'm going to try and start building my own little maps, kind of independent of some random world gen, and I suppose we'll see where that goes. So yeah, I suppose thank you for watching. I hope you did find this enjoyable, but just as we're ending off here, I would just like to add in a little bit here that me and my friend CTG256, we are trying to create a little Minecraft server together for small content creators. It will be mostly vanilla-esque, so we'll have stuff like voice chats, tarot lit, maybe some little stuff like Waystone, so we wouldn't have